Man, you know, I've practiced many things, man. I've practiced a few religions. I've participated in certain meditation and prayer rituals. But one thing I've never even thought about entertaining, man, was when people are talking about grounding, man. Grounding and sun gazing. You know, of course, I love soaking up those sun rays when I go on a walk or a jog. But I've never combined the two. I've never even thought about this grounding technique, right? But I can tell you, man, I've been doing this for about not even a week yet, and brother, I can tell you, there's a different, you know, level of data that comes with this, man. You know, there's a different level of clarity as far as the downloads you receive by doing this. You know, we think about it, man. Like nature, you know, connected with nature is almost like connecting directly to the plug, man. You know, I mean, you think about how this world works. You think about all the technology. You think about all the advancements in this world, right? But when you want to get back just to the raw state of being human, but it's nothing like coming out, man, and connecting directly, you know, flesh to soil with the earth, bro, with nature and sun rays. You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of clarity, brother. But nature is the plug, man. So yeah, make sure y'all get out, man, and enjoy some of this, bro. You know, I was thinking about something. There was this show that used to come on, and it may still come on. I don't know, these type shows. And I don't know if this was like the final reward for winning some other prize. But long story short, there was this game show. You have two people in a grocery store, right? Two different carts. And they would set the timer, man, for like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever. And these people had the ability, the freedom to go around and get as much stuff and put it in a cart as they wanted to, man. They can get anything they wanted to get. Didn't have a value, didn't have a size, as long as it was in that cart, right? Now what you would see is people, man, just scrambling, boom, 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 trying to get all this good stuff, man, trying to get all the, you know, the high dollar stuff, the tissue, the laundry detergents, the food, the steaks, or whatever, right? What you didn't see is somebody getting that cart, man, and kind of just lollygagging around like we do when we go grocery shopping, man. Kind of just looking, reading ingredients and all that stuff. With a minute left on, you know, with a minute on the table, you didn't see anybody just lollygagging, right? And it made me think about life, right? I said, you know, if we let's say a man lives to be 100 years, right? 100 years old. If we're here for a certain amount of time and we have the ability to get anything we want, to do anything we want, to have any type of person we want, like why don't we move like that? You know, like why aren't we just moving throughout this world trying to have as many experiences as possible, man? Trying to meet as many solid people, trying to gain as many things as we can before the clock is out. Like, what is it in us that makes us just, you know, do the same thing, have the same experience, unfavorable, undesired experience for 40, 50 years? You know, that's almost equivalent to somebody being in that same game show, going to the catch-up and reading the directions for about 45 seconds out of that minute. Throw it in the cart, walk around, start squeezing the lemons, look at the lemons. Next thing you know, the timer then went off, right? It's the equivalent to that. Like we have to stop living our lives like this. You know? We have to understand that, like, we only have one shot at this. Like, this is gonna be one life, man. Like this is it. And I'm telling you guys, we have to start swinging for the fence.
Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what level you own based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
So a friend of mine from my hometown recommended this book to me, right? And she said, I want you to read this book. And when you read it, I want you to call me and let me know what you thought about it, right? So I already knew that she figured it would have some kind of impact on me. And the name of that book was or is 5 Things You Must Do Before You Die. Now, I haven't seen the book in probably, I don't know how long, but I was looking for it before I started this video because I wanted to show it to you. But I can't find it, right? And this is the thing, man. Like this book is not even in my top 10 of books. Like I never talk about this book. And the reason is not that it's a bad book. I just didn't read the whole thing. Like I got to a certain point and it impacted me so much that I just sit it down and started moving, right? I'm gonna say it again. This book is not in my top 10 list, right? But this book, hands down, of all books, had the most effect on me, as far as moving fast and in a different direction. I didn't even get to finish it, right? Now, I couldn't tell you what the whole book is about. It's about a few different things, but the one chapter I focused on was a chapter where a guy was specifically talking about him going around and like talking to older people or talking to people that are, on a deathbed, in these final type situations. And he was just asking about questions about life, what they wish, what they wish they would have done, accomplished, relationships, just all kind of challenges they wish they would have pursued, right? And the majority of them, like the common denominator was that most of them all had this regret. That was pretty much standard across the board. And me being an empath, man, I could feel that. I could feel it in this man's words. And it affected me so much that I set this book down and changed my life that day. I can remember I cut friends off. I can remember I deleted some numbers out of my phone. There was the day I started my first YouTube channel. It had just put me in a different kind of mode. And the thing, what it did really is put me in a mode. It kind of switched gears. You got to understand that before that, I was just kind of living life in a safe manner. Like most people don't live life on offense, trying to score, trying to win, trying to profit. Everybody plays the game just trying to just play it safe. Like let me just lean back, man. If I just keep my mouth closed for 30 or 40 years, I can just tap into this 401k, man, and just fall off into my own world. If I don't try to push myself hard, I can just stay at this job, or I can just stay in this relationship that I don't want because it's safe. I know this person is not going to cheat on me. Everybody, or the majority of people, man, are living their lives in a safe manner. And what that did is it just took me out of that. It put me on my deathbed at hopefully 100 years old or greater. It put me in the mentality of being on my deathbed and not having, pursue things that I really wanted to pursue. You know what I'm saying? And brother, I'm telling you, that's a bad feeling. That has to be one stage higher than hell. You know what I'm saying? It has to be, right? So as soon as I got in this mode, this is when things started clicking for me, man. Like things just started. A lot of books that I've been reading for years, the Think and Grow Rich. A lot of these older books I talk about, I've been reading them for years, man. But something still hadn't clicked, and I can tell you when it clicked. Again, this was 2016, I believe, when she recommended that book. I can remember sitting. At the time, my son wasn't with me yet. He was visiting, man. I'm sitting there watching my son play the game. For some reason, at that age, he was about 8 years old. For some reason, at that age, if I wasn't watching the screen, it almost felt like he wasn't playing. Like if I turned my head for 5 seconds, he was like, "No, like the game ain't real if you ain't observing it," type mode, right? But I can remember watching him play. It was a Call of Duty. It was one of them joints, and I can remember he was in this build your own character type stage, right? And he's taking this little dude, man, little dude is just hopping around, letting him, and he's giving the dude the skin tone, he's giving the dude he's giving him a few tasks, he's just creating a man. He's creating the energy that he wants to portray in this game, and once he does that, that's his energy. And I was like, that's how life works, man. You have to understand that this game of life, all we're doing is creating our avatars. our thoughts, our meditations, all that stuff, all we're doing is creating the version of us that we want to portray in this story of life. You know what I'm saying? The thing is this, man. Once you understand that we are not here, once you understand that the truest part of us is still residing in the fifth dimension, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. And I remember I've referenced this a number of times, but I said another thing that snapped me out of this when I watched the movie Avatar. I was like, that's how life works, man. It's back and forth between dimensions. But this is what I remember, man. I always tell brothers that when you're creating this character, I always tell brothers that when you're in your meditation, I always say that you have to be coming from the place of first person point of view. Always. And the reason behind that is because in the first person is where emotions are stirred up. And we all know that emotions are what the creative force is, right? But there's one time, guys, and I never talk about this. There's a time where you need to be, or where I would highly recommend you meditating in the first person point of view. In other words, to the point where you're looking yourself, you're observing yourself on the screen of life. You know what I'm saying? And that is when you're making a hard transition in life. Every time I'm making a hard transition in life, whether it's a new career path, whether it's a new, just a new journey in life, I always start my meditations off for at least maybe a day or two, only in third person. You know what I'm saying? Because what I'm doing is I'm watching myself and I'm operating myself from my mind instead of my body. In other words, just like my son is sitting back on the couch, creating a man on screen, he's watching it. I'm watching myself do the things that I would do if I was that person. I'm conditioning my mind, right? And again, I might do this for 1 or 2 days, sometimes more, depending on what this move is like, right? I'm literally watching myself, right? I'm watching myself, but I'm controlling that person from the place where I am. All that's doing, guys, is strengthening. It's like going to the gym. It's strengthening your separation between your mind and your body. It's strengthening the connect. It's strengthening the difference between the third and the fifth dimension. At the same time, it's showing that it's one, but it's strengthening them both, right? But so that's what I do, man. And once I found out, brothers, that I could create my own character, man, my life changed so freaking fast. It makes absolutely no sense. I can remember years before that, 5, 6, maybe 7 years before that, all I wanted to do, man, is travel. I wanted to hit Dubai. I wanted to hit a few different places in the globe. I said, man, I just want to travel. But it can never come to be. It just never panned out. I don't know what the reason was, or now I do, but I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, man, I just want to travel. I can remember that next year, after reading that book, after understanding how this world works, brother, I don't think I spent but maybe 6 or 7 months. I don't know how much, man. I don't know how much time I spent in country, but I stayed gone the whole year, bro. I think I hit Dubai twice that year. I think I hit Egypt that year. I think I hit Mexico that year. So you're talking about a guy going from going nowhere. All I was doing was going to work every day, clocking in, clocking out. Once I understood I could create this own image, brothers, I started swinging for the fence. I started swinging for the fence, man. So you go from that in the very next year, brother, I'm staying out of the country. It was a complete mindset shift, brothers. I'm telling you, we have to stop living this safe type mentality and start swinging for the fence. And then I remember that whole year I stayed traveling. And then I said, man, if I can create, this life, then what I need to do is create a life where I can have that freedom to do it anytime. Because see, I was still restricted between, trying to travel and still trying to work. I said, if I can create anything, why don't I just create a world where I'm working for myself? I'm doing my own thing, right? So that whole next year, I started building on that. And I'm telling you, brothers, you got to understand, I'm just now starting to learn this stuff in the grand scheme of things. I'm 45 years old. I just started picking this stuff up in 2015, 2016, 2017. As hard as I'm going now, not the overall knowledge. I've been studying it forever. So it's like I'm just now getting started. My life right now is exactly how I make it, but I'm just now getting started. If I live to be 100 years old, but there's no telling what kind of experiences I'm going to experience. You know, and it's not about, at least for me, it's not about, obtaining things. For everybody, it's different. If you want to obtain things, cribs, Lambos, jets, with all that stuff, brother, you can create that. You simply need to swing for the fence. If you want to be a person that travels to, all corners of the globes at all time, be able to spend, some months in Asia, spend some months in South Africa, you can create that life, but you have to swing for the fence. And the thing is, this is what I'll do forever. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I pass on, I will still do this. You know what I'm saying? Whether I go to a different realm or whether I respawn on this one, this is what I will always do, because there is nothing higher than that when you think about it. Think about it. To even be in that energy, you have to be in the presence of the Most High, the universe, whatever you want to call it. You have to be in that presence. So that's what heaven is. So what state can be higher than heaven? You know what I'm saying? So if this is where I am, then this is where I'll always be, and this is what I always do. You got to understand, man, we always say that, we're made in the image of the Creator. You know what I'm saying? But we don't govern ourselves accordingly. We don't move like that. We don't think like that. We still getting this mindset of, okay, well, let's prepare this life and so we can be solid in the afterlife. The afterlife, whatever takes place after this life, is irrelevant if you're tuned in. If you're tied into the plug, think about how, what else is there to achieve? So you'll always be in this same state, man. I'm telling you, it clarifies a whole lot of things. All I'm saying, brothers, is let's just pause, man. Let's just pause and analyze our lives. It's all about expansion. That's what life is about, expansion. And we've been talking about that in the power circle. A few brothers that haven't been in the power circle, man, we're talking about powerful things. We're talking about things that change our lives completely. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, man. We have to stop living this safe life. We have to look at this world as a playground. We have to look at this world as a video game. I'm sure most of us have kids that play these games all day, man. Think about what's taking place and think about how it relates to us as human beings. It's a powerful thing, man. At the end of the day, guys, we got to just, start conducting ourselves different. We have to really just remember who we are. We have to remember what we're capable of. Then we got to ask ourselves, like, if I'm made in the image of the Creator, then I have to start conducting myself like I am that.